All right, guys, so you know about the DeWalt Cordless FLEXVOLT lithium ion compressor, right? Out of the three, right, we're going to talk about the Ryobi Quick, the Rigid, and this DeWalt. Now, I love the Rigid. The Rigid's really an underrated compressor. I don't want to say it's underrated. You know, it's a great compressor. But you guys know my feelings. I talk about it pretty much every time we're at the depot, right? $2.99, 2.5 gallon, 135 psi. Comes with the battery, a 6 amp hour, 20 volt, 2 amp hour, 60 volt, $2.99. The Rigid 229 bare tool. It's a 1 gallon. You got 120 psi. Great design. Little bit lighter. I mean, for the Rigid being a 1 gallon and this being a 2.5, there's really not that much of a weight and size difference. With the Rigid, of course, you can put 2 batteries, and that is an 18 volt compressor. This is a 60 volt, and it's made in the USA. And then you got the Ryobi, which is also a pretty good buy over the holidays, right? You could have got it for $100. Actually, you can get it at some locations right now. Remember that $139 kit, right? You got the Ryobi compressor, you got the brad nailer, I think you got the hose as well, but you got some attachments as well. But that's a 1 gallon, same as the Rigid, 120 psi, same as the Rigid. This kind of, you know, separates itself only because it's a 2.5 gallon and a 135 psi. All right, but as you know, obviously all three of them are not made for this application. Again, only 1.2 SCFM here. Really, for these impact wrenches, you need 4.0 SCFM, the ratchets, you know, but we're going to have some fun, right? What the heck? Let's see what we can do. It's all in good fun. All right, so we're going to load her up. All right, and I have a review on this. I'm going to post batteries in. We're going to lock the tank up. And we're going to fill her up. And let's see her in action. We'll be back. All right, first, real quick, I just want to go over the unit real quick just to give people a little information on it. And for people who haven't maybe seen this before. But this is the DeWalt Cordless 60 volt FLEXVOLT compressor. All right, now if you buy this, it's going to come with a rapid charger, and it's going to come with a FLEXVOLT battery, a 6 amp hour 20 volt, and a 2 amp hour 60 volt. All right, so obviously you cannot use 20 volt batteries, XR batteries with this unit. You got to use FLEXVOLT. This is a 60 volt compressor, really 54, but 60 volt compressor. It runs at around 79 decibels, so, you know, not the quietest in the world, but definitely not the loudest. Like I said, it's a 2.5 gallon. All right, so it kind of separates itself from the other two, you know, brands that we talk about a lot in this channel. Rigid is also that's a 1 gallon, and the Ryobi, which is a 1 gallon, and they're both 120 psi. So this gives you 15 more psi, and it gives you another 1.5 gallon bigger tank. All right, but like I said, it has a fan, an internal fan, because this thing will get a little hot. All right, but it does have an internal fan. Like I said, it runs at 1.2 SCFM at 90 psi, and it runs at 1.5 SCFM at 40 psi. All right, now, like I said, obviously what we're doing here, we're just having some fun, just testing it to see what it can do and what it can't do. And it's made in the USA with global materials as well. It's a pretty light unit, guys, compared to, you know, obviously it's made to be portable, but, you know, very, very, you know, comparing this to the Rigid, guys, it's not that much bigger than the Rigid. All right. I like the design of the Rigid a little bit better. And in fact, you know, you can put 2 batteries on it. You know, the one thing about this, it kind of, if you look at the cage, which is definitely a cool idea that DeWalt did, and DeWalt likes these cages, right? We see them on their blowers and stuff, but with this, they didn't make the cage big enough. So this side part of the tank can actually, it's not protected by this cage. All right, I would have liked this to come out a little bit more, but besides that, it's got your easy hookups. You know, you got your on-off button. Here's your pressure gauge. All right, and this will tell you the PSI. Real basic, just like any other compressor. So that's it. Let's test her. Let's see what she can do. And again, this is just for fun. Relax. We're going to use a 3/8 impact wrench. We got our nice husky hose here. And let's do it. Also, I forgot, this is a oil-free unit, okay? So you don't need any oil with this. And in the back is your air plug, all right, to release the air out of the tank. All right, so we got the tank all filled up real nice. We got the regulator set up to 90, as you can see. Let's do this. All right, get on the side there. All right, I jacked this up with our old scissor jack here. We're gonna see if we can remove pretty much every lug nut here, except I'm not gonna play around with this one because obviously I should have took this one off, but let's do it. Hasn't even kicked on yet. There it goes. Breeze. An absolute breeze. Like it was nothing. As you see, it kicked on after the second lug nut there, but very impressive. This is going to have, I can tell, no doubt, am I going to have any issues with the Dodge Ram 1500. All right, it's the ease. Now remember, these are set at 80 foot-pounds, all right? Right from the factory. I double-checked them, I loosened them, and then put them to 80. And, you know, listen, we're having fun here, just playing around. Thought it'd be a good little video. But, you know, you could easily get this wheel off, and then by the time you kind of yank it off, pull it off, if you're doing a tire rotation, by the time you get to the other tire, it'll be all filled. And you could do it again, right? But like I said, obviously not recommended, but you can do it with the FLEXVOLT. Let's go take a look at the Dodge Ram 1500. Alright, so we're going to move over to the Dodge Ram 1500. These are torqued at 128 foot-pounds, all right? 128. We're going to see if the DeWalt FLEXVOLT can remove these lugs, 3/8. I got an adapter on here. I don't have a 22 millimeter 3/8 socket. Let's do it. Nothing. Like it was nothing. It's on. Pretty impressed, and it's staying at, you know, it drops down to like 90, and then it kind of starts kicking on again. But you know, not a big deal. You know, by the time you do all 5, obviously it's going to be, well, it ain't going to be drained too much, but by the time you remove one, you take it over to the next tire, it should be almost about filled. You know, this is one thing that, you know, obviously, guys, we're having fun here, right? But it's another thing that you can kind of do with this DeWalt in an emergency situation. Of course, you don't want to use, you know, this kind of compressor to remove lug nuts with an impact wrench. But we're having fun, we're testing, seeing what it can do. And we did it with the Mitsubishi Eclipse Sport, okay? And we did it with the Dodge Ram 1500, 80 foot-pounds and 128, like it was nothing. All right, obviously, if I had it lifted, I could take all 5 off, remove it. That's going to start filling again, the FLEXVOLT. If I was going to go to another tire, you know. But pretty impressed, guys. I was working on this since last summer. But I finally got it done for you today. God bless you.